Welcome back to I Want That Too, the show where we do a deep dive into the world of Disney merchandise, sharing the stories behind some of your favorite collectibles. I'm entertainment writer Jim Hill, and I'm joined, as always, by my fabulous co host, Lauren Hersey.
Hello, 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 Jim, and happy almost May the 4th to you, sir. We have so much fun jammed up in this episode. We're going to look at some galactic goodies, and we're also going to look at some iconic character celebrations. Like I said, as we're gearing up for May the 4th, and we're going to look at some anniversaries. How's that sound?
That sounds great, Lauren. And again, we're going to drop this episode on May 3rd, just one day shy of Star Wars Day. And in today's feature, we will be talking about my recently completed Muppets in Space Jelly Jar collection.
Holy moly, I have never thought I'd be so excited about a jelly jar collection. Yay, can't wait for that. But before we do that, we need to thank our sponsor.
This is true, Lauren. And we have to offer up a big thanks to our sponsor, touringplans.com, for supporting the show. Planning a trip to Disney or Universal can feel overwhelming given all there is to see and do. But with touring plans, you get personalized planning tools and insight to crowd patterns, helping you skip the long lines and making the most of your visit. So save time and money by visiting our friends at touringplans.com.
Thank you, Touring Plans, for sponsoring our show. And all right, Jim, what is happening in the news?
Well, Lauren, as you probably know, the city of Anaheim has unanimously passed the vote for Disneyland Forward, which means that the Disneyland Resort in the not so distant future will be undergoing a massive change. And there are those who say this fulfills Walt's long ago promise that he made at the dedication ceremony of Disneyland back in July of 1955, that Disneyland will never be completed.
Yeah, I mean, that is some serious big news. Like, we're getting very, very close to hearing if Disneyland Forward is actually going to move forward. But let's just speculate for a second and say it's definitely happening. What do you think is to come?
Well, okay. What's kind of interesting is you have to read the tea leaves, so to speak. I mean, for example, later this spring, we'll be seeing Fantasy Springs open at Tokyo Disneyland, which is not just a new port, so to speak, at Tokyo Disney Seas, but it's also a hotel. And there are those who are speculating quite loudly that when the expansion of the Disneyland resort goes forward, we're going to see that exact mix of elements. We're going to see new lands, but the difference is that there's going to be, as opposed to a hotel that looks into the park, there will be a hotel actually inside of the park. It's not exactly new because this is being done over at Tokyo, but it is new ish. Want to be clear here, Disneyland Forward is not green lit yet to build an entirely new theme park. And in fact, uh, to be clear here, what they're looking for from the Anaheim City Council is the flexibility to be able to redesign the resort as we know it today.
Okay, so we could be getting some redesigns and, we could be getting some new lands. So, I mean, are there any predictions on what Disney might be planning with all these developments?
Okay. So, what's the polite way of put this? We did see a Frozen Land open at Hong Kong Disneyland last year. We will have a Frozen themed land opening at Walt Disney Studios Park in Paris. Excuse me, Disney Adventure World in France. Magic 8 Ball says, hey, Frozen in Anaheim, a very strong possibility.
Please, 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 Frozen and Anaheim. Please, please, please. Can we make that happen? so I don't have to go all the way to,
Yeah. Okay.
Paris. I mean, I think I could, have a trip in my future to go see Frozen, but I would much rather go to California. How about you?
Got it. Well, again, as much as I also want to travel to Japan and Hong Kong, not just because our good friend Mr. Schul has worked on those parks and wants to show off the things he worked on. But yeah, but at the same time, it would be nice to have new, fun things based on IPs that we know and love in Anaheim. And toward that end, Bob Iger just recently shared a piece of concept art for, I think Bob used the phrase an avatar themed experience rather than actually saying the word land. But did you see this piece of concept art, by the way, Lauren?
I absolutely did. So it is different than what we have in Florida. So what are you
Absolutely.
thinking that maybe it could include?
Well, again, if you take a close look at the concept art, there are palm trees. There seems to be a beach area, which those of you who went out to theaters back in 2022 to see Avatar: The Way of Water, that's where the second film in the Avatar series was set, and that seems to be what's coming to Anaheim. Florida will be set, on Pandora in the Deep Jungle from the first film, and that Anaheim will have, will celebrate the Way of Water. And in fact, what's especially interesting is if you look really closely at that piece of concept art, you see a boat coming out of a show building. And what's interesting is it's not the same boat that we see for the Navi River journey, the version of the boat attraction that we have in Florida. Much bigger vehicle. So yeah, we're getting something different in California. It's
And
something.
isn't that boat outside? If I'm
Well, yes, that's also worth noting as well. That the boat comes out of the building. So one wonders if it splashes down when it does that. But anyway, again, different than Florida.
different than Florida. Well, I'm very much looking forward to that. And I'm very much looking forward to that $1.9 billion investment that Disney has said that they're going to be making in the parks. I mean, is there anything else that you think might be heading in the direction for those parks? Just speculating.
Well, again, what's important to understand is that we're having, and again, we have to wait for a second Anaheim City Council vote before, things officially begin to move forward. And given the somewhat glacial pace that the Walt Disney Company moves at when it comes to theme park expansions, Lauren, it's quite likely that what we're talking about today won't be something that guests can actually begin to experience till as late as 2029, 2030.
Oh, that feels like
And
so far away.
again, it is, but in the world of theme park construction, that's 5 minutes from now. I mean, it's one of those things where, oh God, we got to contact the factory to make the steel, and that's so much work that would have to be done before those places could open.
Right, but Jim, I have to say though, rumbling is that there might not be as much land to fill if we get an Avatar experience in Anaheim. Like, so where do you think it's going to go?
Well, now that's the most interesting part because remember, the key phrase here was that Anaheim, Disney is looking to get permission from the Anaheim City Council to take areas that they already have at the resort and redesign them. And what that means is there are areas from the previous development plan for the Disneyland Resort, the one that they got the Anaheim City Council to sign off on in the early 90s. We're talking like 1991. But for drainage issues and that sort of thing, some of these areas were literally that's a roadway, that's a parking lot. And what Disney is looking to do this time around is to have the city council effectively allow them to rezone. It's like, no, that's not a parking lot anymore. That's where we could expand out to, and put a, if not a full new theme park, an extension of Disneyland or an extension of
Or an
DCA.
experience, says
Yeah,
Bob
there we
Barker.
go. Yep. So, so yeah, that's, that if you take that into consideration, and like for one of the things that they're seeking permission to do is literally have Disney Way, which is a road into, that allows people today to have access to the Disneyland Hotel. That's going to go away, and that then becomes developable space. And you would honestly be surprised how much acreage you can get if you grab Disney Way and turn that into someplace you can start dropping attractions.
Oh, well, listen, I am so stoked to see what's to come. And as we know more, we will certainly be sharing that information with our listeners and viewers. But let's switch gears to Florida for a second and talk about their just released new line of Pandora World of Avatar merch. And I'm telling you, like, it's super, super cool. I really can appreciate this new collection.
Wow, I don't think I've seen this stuff yet. Tell me about it.
Okay. So I'm not normally this jazzed about a specific collection, and I'm not the biggest Avatar fan. I'm sorry, but this one has got me excited. So they've released a whole range of new products at Wind Traders and Pandora at Disney's Animal Kingdom. If you're not familiar, one standout is the Open Edition pin set. If you're into pins, they have one featuring the Banshee, straight out of Avatar, The Way of Water, and Flight of Passage. They also have a mystery pin set where each box offers two randomly selected pins from a collection of 8 different Avatar creatures. So that's really exciting if you're a pin collector who's also into Avatar.
But the thing of the mystery pin sets, it's always that roll of the dice. But okay. Speaking of roll, what else did they roll out?
Okay, so here's the highlight. This is what I'm really excited about. They have introduced some amazing glow in the dark apparel, and I absolutely adore it. The collection features like a youth hoodie that's designed, has like all over Banshee print, and it's Banshee blue. I'm gonna like coin that Banshee blue with a yellow zipper and some matching stitching. But don't worry, for the adults, there is a really cool purple hoodie with lots of glow in the dark elements, including there's print on the sleeves. They have the Pandora logo, and this one is $54.99. Like, I actually probably will buy this when I'm in the park next time.
And I got to tell you, going with glow in the dark, given that, from the films and actually the land itself, the whole notion of bioluminescence is very much on Avatar brand. So that sounds like a really clever idea. Any other light up merch?
Yes, there actually is. They've also introduced a new light up water bottle that features print of Pandora wildlife in their natural elements. And I must say it's pretty slick. There's a button at the bottom of the bottle. It triggers it to light up in, a number of different colors. I don't know, Jim. I'm going to say this bottle is worth the $24.99 price tag, especially if you love Avatar. You're going to be visiting the park at night, and we're coming up on the summer nights. You probably need some water. And I'm not sure if they've done like a light up line in the past. I know that we had the really cool drum from when the first movie came out, and it did light up in the blue, but this is like something that I've not seen before.
Well, let's face it, Disney has a knack for really knowing its audience and the merch they want. So, forgive me for channeling a banshee here, but I bet these new items will fly off the shelf. So, but you know what else is causing buzz among the Disney fans? It's even one here at the house.
What? Tell me.
Okay, so got to start off by telling you that Nancy has a Donald Duck problem. We in fact we have a room here at the house, an entire room that is filled with her Donald Duck stuff, and
No way.
I'm
I need a
serious.
picture of it.
All right,
Seriously.
I will at some point go upstairs and get you a photo of, I mean, she's got porcelain, she's got plush, she's got classic pieces from the 30s, commemorative stuff. But anyway, I have been somewhat hesitant to mention to her that there is a 90th anniversary Donald Duck collection that is just now making its way out the door.
Well, I mean, you're not really lying. I mean, it's not fully out yet. We're just getting little teases here and there from Disney. So, Nancy, it's coming.
Okay,
But if
kind of
you
a sin of
are,
omission at this point. So
there
yeah,
you go.
okay, you were saying.
Just slightly omitting because we only gotten to see a couple items so far. But let's talk a little bit about what we have so far. It looks like the Disney Park blog, like I said, is giving us some sneak peeks of these items. My personal favorite, we got our mini ears, all about Donald. So we have one ear that shows Donald looking like his usual cranky self. I don't know. I have to ask though. Like for Nancy, does she like the cranky Donald or does she like the happy Donald?
Well, no, no, I mean, Nancy is a completist. I mean, we have long-billed Donalds from the 30s. We have, classic Donald at the height of his popularity from the 40s. In fact, somewhere here on my desk, I actually have some Ducktail toys from the revival of the show, and that includes the Donald that was on that show who had the black shirt as opposed to the blue shirt. That's really how deep we go with ducks here at this house. Anyway, you were saying.
That is a deep cut with a black shirt Donald. I did not know that. Okay, back to the mini ears. Sorry about that. All right, so we got cranky Donald on one ear, and then we have the other, which is like a happy expression, and it's topped off with a fluffy white bow, marked with a 90 in the middle, and it's really a cute design. Like his little fluffy tail bum appears to be like sticking out from the zero. If you are listening to us as a podcast, you should go over to the YouTube channel at Jim Hill Media. Check that out. It's very cute. And that's not all. There's also, so I'm going to go with, they're teasing a whole vintage line, but there's one vintage item for this 90th anniversary celebration. So it is a vintage looking blue faux leather wallet. It says Quack, like Quacketeer Club. Did I get it right? It's like the Mouseketeer, but
Wow.
Quacketeer. It's very cute.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
okay, so I didn't butcher that. Great. And it is a retro image of Donald. So I'm really excited to see the entire collection when it launches.
And that is June, right? A month after next, when people can start to get their hands on this stuff, right?
Yes. So the actual anniversary is on June 9th, from his creation in 1934. So if I had to take a guess, it'll be out just around then. And you will be able to grab these items at both Disney World, Disneyland, as well as the Disney store. So whether you're visiting the park, shopping from home, you will not miss out. So tell Nancy she doesn't even have to leave her PJs to get her 90th anniversary Donald merch.
Well, I bet we'll be
Or
swinging
or
for a
not,
lot
or
of
not. It's our little
Donald
secret.
PJs while we're at it. Okay. Well, okay. All right. Well, we'll be sure and mark our calendars here. And okay, folks, we're going to take a quick break now, but stay tuned because when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the latest merch that's tied to Star Wars Day. May the Fourth be with you. And again, I will once again be talking about my Muppet Jelly Jar collection. But first, this.
Hi there. If you want to hear the rest of today's episode, you can head over to iTunes and listen to the full audio experience there. You can also head over to our Patreon, patreon.com/JimHillMedia, for the full video episode. Or if none of those options works for you, then we will see you back here next week. Make sure that you hit the subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and comment below and let us know what you want to see in future episodes.